The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. How about this for a game? How about this for a series? We're all tied up. 4 seconds to go. Captain clutch for 3. And the Knicks go up by 3. They end up winning it by 3. The watch party outside MSG. Happy, going nuts. That's how we were in the studio here. Our Delta MSG Studios was rocking. What a game and what a series win for the Knicks as they win it in 6 games. Great to have you with us here from our Delta MSG Studios. Bill Pidto along with Hahn and Wally Szczerbiak. So the Knicks eliminate the Pistons. They will take on Boston in the next round. They're at Boston for Game 1 on Monday night. Pre-game coverage here and post-game coverage here throughout the second round of these playoffs as Game 1 against the Celtics begins on Monday night. Wally, the Knicks in that fourth quarter were outscored over a stretch 20-2. And then they close the game on an 11-1 run. I don't know. There are no words to describe Jalen Brunson and his ability to do what we consistently see him doing.
Listen, Mike Breen said it. This was an awesome playoff series. Awesome NBA basketball through and through. Both these teams taking punches, both these teams throwing punches. Just an outstanding display of high-level basketball, well-coached basketball. It was almost like who's going to get the ball last is going to win this game. Although Detroit really struggled after getting that 7-point lead. But, boy, Jalen Brunson, I didn't know he had this in him, Alan. After that ankle roll or whatever the heck happened with the floor, I did not think he was going to be able to come out and shoot 33 times, get to 40 points, and take over again in this series in the last couple minutes. He is just so special.
Listen, it took a lot to drive a stake through that team, the Pistons. They would not go away. And you give them credit certainly for that part of it, but for the resiliency of the Knicks, even in that moment when you're down 7 with 2 minutes to go and Game 7 felt inevitable, but just to never give up on the play. And Mikal Bridges, I mean, that, having a moment for him in that situation as well, coming up huge for a guy that has gone through the season where he's had good moments and he's been maligned at times as well. He called it what to do at halftime. They come out and do the layup line. They were able to get a good third quarter, but the finish of this game was all about the resiliency of this team, just how hard it was to put this Pistons team away. It was incredible, this series, a knockdown drag-out. 63 free throw attempts were in this game, man. Like, this was a physical, nasty series, and the Knicks winning this game gives them a couple of days to catch their breath, regroup, and get ready for, of course, the juggernaut that is the Boston Celtics.
112-105, Wally. Knicks down by 7 with 2:35 to go. And then Jalen Brunson scored 8 of the Knicks' final 11 points. You had the key tip in from Bridges, 1 free throw from Cat, and Brunson did the rest.
Yeah, he almost fell over on one of those moves that he made, kept his balance. And he's doing it on a bum ankle. Incredible what he was able to do, bouncing back 2 days later. This fourth quarter was so back and forth, so up and down. Mikal Bridges loses the ball here. Dennis Schroeder takes it to gets it to Sir Thompson. He knocks it in. So it's tied at 103, and then Josh Hart, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Thompson with another easy basket. That leads to a 4-point lead, and how about Tim Hardaway Jr.? Missed some tough shots, missed some easy shots, knocks that one down.
112-105, down 7, 2:35 to go.
Yeah, and then Brunson. This is the one I was talking about. I mean, that's a yoga move right there. That's a yoga pose. Keep your balance, kid. And he gets it to go. Cuts it to 2.
Here's the play by Bridges.
Yeah, and that's
right place,
good.
right time.
That tied it up.
If Bridges isn't going to get his hands on the ball, go find the ball on a rebound.
Sword Thompson. We're going to show this on the Wally wall because you got to tell us what happened there with the Sword Thompson.
Yeah, we'll show it. It was a go screen. It was an outstanding diagram play by Tom Thibodeau. Caught Detroit really off balance, and then, oh my goodness, couldn't even get a shot up.
No shimmy.
Wait, where's the shimmy? No shake. No second round for the Pistons. Detroit basketball going home in the first round.
Sing along again. Look at the numbers. The numbers here are great, but you know what the biggest number is, Bill? The Knicks did something they have never done in their franchise's history.
Win 3 road playoff games in the same series.
That's the most useless stat you've ever brought out.
Useless?
Useful. Sorry.
That's useful. Winning 3 road games, man?
Sorry, my fault. Useful.
Yeah, that's useful.
Very useful.
We got you.
You got me.
Monica McNutt helped call the game on the radio on ESPN New York. Monica, how you feeling about now?
I'm tired. I am fatigued. I feel like I felt every one of those 63 free throws that was shot or the foul that led to them. That was something, you guys. And I think I heard you all talking, but down 7, Tyler and I are looking at each other like, oh, they're starting to drag a little bit. What's going to happen? And I think as big as the three was, the basket Jalen Brunson got on the baseline was like, okay, all right, Captain Clutch is activated. Keep hope alive in this one. And then I actually think that in this series, from Game 3 on, despite the shooting woes in Game 4 and Game 5 to a degree, that Mikal Bridges has played some of his best basketball of the entire season. He's been alert defensively. He's been engaged, whether he's shooting the ball well or not. And then obviously tonight, he has a big scoring night and the huge putback down the stretch. Whew, goodness gracious.
Monica, 3 wins on the road in one series. Just incredible the way this team goes on the road in that environment. How do they do it?
I'm going to go back to something that Jalen Brunson says all the time, right? The magic is in the work. And today he was actually asked about Deuce McBride getting ready, and he says that he encourages Deuce to rely on his preparation. And I think you saw this team rely on their preparation when it came down to it in terms of closing out the series. They played terrific basketball games here. They've been locked in, they've been hitting shots, they've been communicating, and they've had one another's backs. Because certainly you could look at the box score and say, oh, so-and-so didn't have a great game, but ultimately it was about the team, and I think that's what you felt in this series.
That final shot by Jalen Brunson, Monica, a one-on-one situation, but he didn't just go ISO. They bring over Mikal Bridges. Wally's going to show us in the Wally Wall everything that happened there, but while you guys are making the call, what did you see on that play that Brunson was able to get that open for a clean look?
It's the confusion. It's the real threat of Mikal Bridges, who was having a terrific game, that for a split second, Asar Thompson has to account for it in terms of adjusting over that screen, and Jalen goes the opposite direction. And so he doesn't need a ton of room, as we've seen throughout his career, but that gave him just enough space to set up that terrific crossover that ultimately led him to the game-winning shot. And I got to say, I think a thing that's been important in this series, that possession you saw action on, the possession that Mikal Bridges ultimately got the offensive rebound and putback, you saw action on, but there were a couple possessions prior to that where it was just too stagnant, and it was easy for Thompson to guard Brunson and for the defense to load up in help position. And so that was a quick adjustment by the Knicks and Coach Tom Thibodeau. That was a great read of the game. And I'll say this too, guys, because I know we got to wrap up. We asked Josh Hart today after shoot-around, how will the experience and the maturity show through? That's something that has been discussed in this series. The young Pistons team having a historically great year versus an experienced Knicks team. And he said, experience will show through in our attention to detail and valuing possessions. And while it was a little tricky in the fourth quarter, in the last 2 minutes, that's exactly what this team did.
All right, Monica, as always, we appreciate it. Have a safe trip back. We'll talk to you Monday night. Knicks in Boston, pregame show here and an hour-long postgame show throughout round number 2 as the Knicks advance out of the first round for the 3rd straight year. First time in franchise history, as Alan touched on, that the Knicks have won 3 straight road games in a single playoff series. They won 1 game by 2, they won 1 game by 1, and they won tonight by 3. Second time in franchise history, the Knicks have won 3 straight road games in a single playoff year. So, you know, Monica's talking about Josh Hart and the Knicks mindset and the experience. How about the resilience, Wally? How important was the Knicks' experience to their ability to seemingly deal with whatever came their way? And there was a lot of adversity.
That's how you win 3 games on the road in a hostile environment in the playoffs. They were a good road team all year long. This team goes to work on the road. They don't get caught up in the emotions and the loudness of the crowd. And they're so well prepared by their coach. In order to win on the road, you need a well-coached team because you can't hear your coach. So your coach has to have his players completely prepared and on the same page. And Tom Thibodeau has those guys ready. They know how to handle every single situation because he prepares them, and they go over every hostile situation when you can't communicate with each other.
And you have a guy like Jalen Brunson who is an absolute killer. And in those moments when he has the basketball, he just has a different level that he gets to, that the great players get to. He's clutch player of the year in the NBA this season for a reason, and that's why that shot was such a perfect moment for him to let everybody know that's exactly why he held up that award this year.
Brunson, 10 points in the fourth quarter for the Pistons. Cade Cunningham, guys, in the fourth quarter, tonight only 4 points. He struggled, did not shoot the ball well. Tom Thibodeau, for the 3rd straight season, has led the Knicks out of the first round of the playoffs. Next up, the Boston Celtics. We'll hear from the Knicks coach as we continue on the postgame show after this.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Knicks fans on 33rd Street outside of MSG celebrating the Knicks win in Game 6 over the Pistons by 3. So the Knicks eliminate the Pistons. Next up, the Boston Celtics. Game 1 is Monday. The series begins in Boston for games 1 and 2. We have pre- and post-game coverage for every game the Knicks play in the Celtics in round number 2. Here's Tom Thibodeau. His post-game comments, as always, presented by Chase.
Tom, just to start that shot that Jalen hit, the crossover, just the way Thompson was defending him all night, just to come back and hit that shot. What do you make of that?
Yeah, and first I'd just like to start off congratulating the Pistons on JB and his staff did an incredible job all year long, and they had a terrific season. It was an incredibly tough series. So then the Jalen shot, what can you say? You know, timely, you know, he's at his best when his best is needed. He's done it all year. That's what makes him special. But also, when you look at the contributions, Cat had 15 rebounds, a lot of tough plays that he made. And we needed Mikal and OG were phenomenal throughout. You know, and Josh is just playing, doing the things that he does, you know, and we needed all of it. So, and just showing the toughness, you know, to get down and then find a way to win at the end. But, you know we got a lot of work to do.
We talk about resilience all year long. You take an early lead, they come back. You take another lead, they come back. Just what does it say about this group that no matter how many times the team...
Yeah, just, you know, hang tough, you know, persevere, get through things. The playoffs, as you know, it's all about, you know, your toughness and your discipline. And so there's going to be a lot of emotional highs and lows, and you got to get through all that. And you got to stay focused on the task at hand, and then you got to get the job done.
Tom, just a little bit more about Jalen. I mean, in that quarter, he's 3 for 13. And what is it about him mentally that he just, I'm going to take that shot, and the way he does it and executes and everything?
Yeah, and I think that's what makes him so special. And, you know, and we talk about, you know, all the intangibles, that it's his makeup. And oftentimes, you know, that's where mistakes, I think, are made in the draft and things like that. And it's easy to see like how many points a guy scores or what physical tools are, but when you look at the mental tools, that's everything. And then how you deal with, you know, like if you miss a shot, you know, and he comes back the next one, he's going to shoot it great. He may miss that one, but he'll shoot the next one great. And just having that belief and confidence, and I think, and again, I say it all the time, it really comes from his preparation, and he has a lot of poise under pressure. And yeah, he's dealing with he gets a lot of attention. He's being trapped, and he knows how to move without the ball. He's obviously very clever with the ball, shifty, can get to the spots that he wants to get to, but he also knows how to move without the ball.
Tom, what did you see from Mikal, especially tonight, in terms of just his attacking the rim?
You know, I thought the whole starting group, I think being aggressive, getting stops, and then pushing the ball, and everyone in attack mode, and also making the extra pass. And, you know, when we did that, we scored at a pretty high rate. And so those easy baskets are everything. And if we can get the scoring off our defense, that really fuels the offense.
Tom, you mentioned you guys had a lot of work to do. What do you make of the Celtics series and, you know, going?
Well, obviously I haven't really dug into that yet, and you know, I've watched some of the playoff games, but obviously we'll be doing a lot of work in the next couple of days. But our assistants and our advanced guys have been working on it for a long time. So then we have to get our team in, and we have some days for recovery and preparation. They're the defending champion, so we know that we're going to have to be at our best.
Tom, it's 3 years in a row now. You've advanced around, and before that, it's been a while for the Knicks. Is there a sense of accomplishment at all that this is now third year in a row you guys have been able to advance in the playoffs? Yeah,
I'm proud of the team, but there's still like a long way to go, and that's if you're a competitor and you love challenges, that's what you're looking forward to. And in the end, there's going to be one team standing, and so prepare yourself to the best of your ability, knowing that you have to play for 48 minutes and just focus on the task at hand. Don't get lost in, what it means in terms of a series or history or anything like that. Understand what we have to do to be prepared for game one. And I think if we do that, we'll give ourselves our best chance.
Tom, did you learn anything about this group in this series? I know it's still pretty fresh.
Yeah, I think you learn in every game. And, so you have to take the things you learn and move it forward. And what are the games teaching us? And so sometimes you fall short, and if you fall short, study, learn, and get ready to do it better the next time. I think that's a big part of mental toughness.
Tom, excuse me. I think we saw layup lines at halftime coming into the third quarter. Was that new? Because that was something McHale had mentioned.
No, it's sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. Just be ready to go. That's what I'm worried about.
Tom, 3 road wins this series. I believe it's the first time in franchise history you have 3 straight road wins in a series. Just, what does that say about this team and their mental toughness?
Yeah, I think, we've been a pretty good road team all year. And so I think to have that focus, when you're on the road, it's really just your group, and obviously we have great fan base and a lot of our fans travel, but I think when you're just relying on each other, so you have to have belief and trust in each other. And I think if you understand what wins in the playoffs, it's your defense, it's your toughness, and it's your teamwork. And you have to have discipline to go along with that. And if you do that, good things come from it.
Tom, I don't know if it's the discipline or what, but that right here in the front, Jalen, it just seemed like from the opening tip, the entire crowd is on him, and he never seems to look up to respond. Just what do you make of his makeup?
His focus is terrific. He doesn't get sidetracked with anything other than the game. So he's not thinking about what people say or fans or stuff like that. The opponent, he's locked into getting the job done and bringing his teammates with him, and I think that's important. I think, and the same could be said for all our starters. They're very team oriented. They're willing to sacrifice for each other, and we know we have to play hard.
Tom, 3-point shooting for your team and the defense on their 3-point shooting, how key was that tonight?
Well, it was big. We lost Beasley in the first half, but I thought overall it was pretty good. And Cunningham's a load to deal with, and Schroeder that was a great pickup by them. That team is really, really good, and they're young, and just their growth from last year to this year, and the veterans that they added great shooting. They complement the young guys. Cunningham, terrific. Thompson is phenomenal. Durant, same thing, his playmaking. And Stewart has been huge for them as well. So they have a very bright future. Yep, thank you.
Well, those Pistons, they are tough. Wally, you're the former player. Knicks, as we've talked about, outscored 20-2 during a stretch of the fourth quarter. The crowd is going berserk. How do the Knicks keep it together and have the fortitude to get on that 11-1 run?
I got a better question. Brunson is being taunted the whole game by 20,000 people. What does it feel like to make that shot and hear them all go quiet?
Well, a lot of players love doing that. Like, when you can shut the crowd up, it's more fun making that shot on the road than making that shot at home.
Really?
Yes. Oh, there are some players that love shutting down
the satisfaction.
Because it's harder. It's harder to do that on the road and pull off what the Knicks did on the road than to do it when all the fans are behind you. That's why what this team has done on the road this season and in this series, it's really impressive. And that says a lot about that locker room, how tight they are and how well coached they are.
All right, coming up, the Wally Wall. We'll go over that key sequence, a game-winning sequence. Brunson hitting the 3 to win the series. Asor Thompson had been so great throughout the series on defense, but not on that play. The guys will break it down. Coming up. Jalen Brunson's 3 with 4 seconds to go. Sinks the Pistons. Knicks moving on. And yes, you're next. Boston, game 1 in Boston Monday night. And we have, throughout the series, for every game the Knicks play against the Celtics, pregame coverage here and an hour-long postgame after every game in round number 2 as we now go to the Wally Wall with Alan and Wally, guys.
Thank you, Bill. Did you see the guy holding the Captain Crunch box? Captain Crunch Time.
I can't see
right,
that far.
but he's holding the anyways.
Captain Clutch, buddy.
Well, it's Captain Crunch is the actual cereal box, is what I'm saying, and that's what Mike Breen called Jalen Brunson.
It says Clutch.
We will get. You couldn't see it, but now you can.
I'm just saying.
His eyes are amazing. His plays are amazing. We'll get to the clutch shot, but the clutch defense was important. Mikal Bridges gets that tap in to tie the score 35 seconds ago. There's still business to get done on defense, and that happened here.
Yeah, and we're going to show how Mitchell Robinson is so good in the pick and roll in help defense and drop coverage. Here's OG Anunoby. Now freeze it there. Here comes Jalen Brunson. He sprints into the screen. That's a big emphasis for a lot of screeners to try to sprint into the screen so then Mitchell Robinson can't hedge. So Mitchell Robinson sprints up to stay with him. He calls out the screen, lets Anunoby know. Anunoby forces him over there, gets picked off a little bit. Look at this drop coverage. He is wide. He's covering the pocket pass right here with his hand low.
Good look.
And then he moves his feet. He baits Cunningham into the point where I know I can make you take a tough shot and not foul you. This is perfect defense. He comes over, makes him take a tough shot, doesn't goaltend, and then Josh Hart, outstanding on the weak side, one of the best rebounders in the NBA to get that loose ball. That's outstanding defense, and that's what Mitchell Robinson brings. Just a great presence to help his guards on pick and roll and being really smart on how to defend that play.
And a great look there that you showed with the low hand.
You see that?
Take away that little.
Takes away the pocket pass.
Yeah, it's fantastic defense there. Okay, but now the big shot, the big moment. Everybody knew who was going to take this shot. But the question is, how did he get so open? Wally's going to show you exactly how.
Yeah, this was a well-diagrammed play. We didn't see this play at all series long. So the Knicks are going small. They have no big man in the game. Now keep an eye on Mikal Bridges right here. He's the one, freeze it there. He comes up to set the screen on Jalen Brunson. So his defender is going to be yelling, this is Tobias Harris, screen right, screen right. That's what you do to let your teammate know. Sir Thompson thinks that pick is coming, so he starts to lean a little bit that way. Jalen Brunson gets his defender moving that way, and all of a sudden puts on the brakes like Michael Jordan back in the day against Brian Russell in the finals, and now he's got room to operate. When you don't bring a screen, there's no chance to clog up an area where Jalen Brunson can't make room to operate and get his shot, and I love that he took the three. Because if he would have kept dribbling closer to the basket, Thompson could have used his length like he did a couple possessions before to bother him. So take the shot, the first available open shot, take it with confidence, and he absolutely drilled it. That was a lot like Jordan's shot that he made in the finals over Brian
Actually,
Russell.
it was a lot like that, just no push-off on that shot.
Right.
You know how that goes. That hit 40 points, by the way, for Jalen Brunson. 7th 40-point playoff game, ties him with Bernard King. Let's get into the Knicks locker room for some reaction. We hear from Josh Hart.
What did you think of first the move that Jalen used to get open and then the shot that he made?
Great move. Great move. Yeah, he's. Thank you very much. I got one. Appreciate it. Sorry. Game 18 on it? Yeah, it was a great move. And it's a great thing he made it. If he didn't, we probably would have fought because he gave them a chance. He would have given them a chance to win it. So that's our guy. You know, clutch player for the year for a reason, and you know, feels good to move on.
What does it say that, you know, doesn't matter what the circumstances are, playoffs, regular season, preseason, exhibition, don't matter that. If the game's on the line, Jalen's going to come through.
It's huge, and it's all of us. I think everyone out there contributed at the end of the game. Huge shout out to Kel, man. He, you know, the shot wasn't falling in this series, but he was doing everything else. He was guarding, and his defense was amazing this series. You know, and 30 seconds up, he had one of the biggest plays with that, you know, just effort tipping. So huge. Obviously, the JB shot was huge, but a big credit to him for keeping up, keeping mentally strong, and you know, playing his game.
For you guys as a team, just the resilience to fall behind 5-7 points at the end there, and with that atmosphere to come back.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're a tough group. You know, everyone likes to paint us as not, but we're a tough physical group. This was a physical series. It was a grueling series. And I think we showed our physicality, our toughness, but also our mental toughness. The way we handled adversity. During those adverse situations, we banded together. We didn't fire off as individuals. It was a great series for us.
Hart tonight, 13 points and 10 rebounds. Second playoff series in NBA history to have 4 straight games decided by 3 points or fewer. For the entire 6-game series, the Knicks outscored Detroit by a total of 8 points. J.B. Bickerstaff with the emphasis on Bicker. His post-game comments coming up as his Pistons are eliminated by the Knicks. Stay with us. Fans outside MSG celebrating the Knicks' Game 6 win over the Pistons, 116-113. Knicks moving on to round number 2. They'll take on the Celtics. Game 1 is Monday in Boston. And for every game in round 2, we have pre- and post-game coverage right here on MSG. Post-game now, Detroit coach J.B. Bickerstaff on the challenges of his young guard, Asar Thompson, trying to guard Jalen Brunson.
I give, Asar a ton of credit for what he was doing, out there defensively, the effort that he put in. He's guarding one of the most difficult matchups in the NBA. Again, you got to tip your hat to Brunson for creating the space, finding his shot there at the end. But he's hard to guard, right? And the space that they play with and, how he can generate space at his size is remarkable. And again, I thought Asar did a great job on him. He just did what he does and made the one more.
You just talk about, the resiliency of this team in the fourth quarter. You guys came in, you down by 11, and, late in that quarter, you guys were able to put things together and end up taking a lead by 7.
Yeah, again, they don't quit and they never have. It's just not in their makeup. It's not in their foundation. Just not in their character as human beings. Like, they just never feel like they're out of it. And again, like we always talk about, it's like when things go bad for this group, in a lot of places you see the individual try to do too much. When things go bad for this group, they find a way to band together and get it done as a unit. And, that's been from day one. And, I can't speak enough about their resilience and their character and the guts that they show.
JB, over here, thank you. The Knicks ended an 11-1 rush at the end to win the game. When you look at that, do you just step back and chalk it up to a great player making great plays, or what do you look at from your team in that stretch?
Again, we'll go back and watch the film and, take a look at it. Again, they made some plays, obviously. There were some balls that just didn't bounce our way, obviously. But, again, I thought our guys fought their tails off and did everything they could do to put themselves in position to win the game.
Alan, hats off to that franchise. Yep. We've talked about it. Last year they won 14 games. This year they won 44 games, one of the greatest turnarounds in the history of the league. And they gave the Knicks all the Knicks could handle in the series.
They got a budding star, obviously, in Cade Cunningham. He is going to be a special player. You can just see it. You saw it in this series. Asar Thompson is an elite defender. They've got pieces to build with, and this is not obviously the last we're going to hear of them. This is the beginning of something in Detroit. And, again, if you're the Knicks, you're like, we're good. We don't need to see them in the playoffs anymore, because this was a knockdown, drag-out, and the Knicks had to earn every single inch that they got in this series.
They didn't back down. They really didn't. Yep. They felt like they had a chance to win this series big time. Their coach did a great job of having a really tight locker room all year long and then building a lot throughout the course of these 6 games in this series. And it took a heroic effort by Jalen Brunson to get this thing done.
Yeah, but Malik Beasley, he can shut it now because they didn't get a home win. So enough with you and your tweets.
And off of Beasley there in the last second, couldn't get a shot off there at the buzzer.
Yeah.
All right, OG Anunoby, big game for the Knicks. 22 points. His post-game reactions coming up. Also, we'll hear from Cade Cunningham. Had 23 in the game, but only 4 in the fourth quarter. Lots of excitement tonight outside MSG. Fans celebrating a Game 6 win in Detroit, 116-113. The Knicks eliminate the Pistons on now to round number 2, Game 1 in Boston. And throughout the entire series, including Monday night, we have pre- and post-game coverage right here on MSG. OG Anunoby tonight with 22. Here he is now after the game.
OG, you've played in a lot of postseason series in your career. Is there a uniqueness about this one, about the physicality that was allowed?
Pretty physical.
Crunch time. Every game went to crunch time.
Every game went to crunch time. It was a pretty physical series. The refs were letting us play. So, yeah, it was definitely unique.
What did you think about the move Jalen used to get that game winner off? And when he shoots that shot, is there any doubt in your mind that it's going in?
Oh, no, I thought I was going in the whole time. But I think most shots he shoots are going in. Wasn't surprised to win it at all. But it's just what he does. Great player.
Is that a move that you've seen him work on, the snatchback that he used to create space from Thompson at the end of the game? Do you see him work on that a lot in practice? Or?
I think he just goes to whatever he's comfortable. I think he works on everything.
OG, you guys had your best third quarter of the series. What did you guys talk about at halftime? And you did come out, the group came out in layup lines. What was said?
Just coming out with energy, playing with pace, getting stops and running, and then taking good shots.
You guys delivered the first punch coming out, to start the game. Same thing, mindset, just kind of play with pace and just kind of get it going.
Yeah. I think every game we always want to start fast. We never want to be slow or stagnant. Sometimes how it goes in the game, but we always want to come out fast and with pace.
They're obviously a strong screening team when it comes to Duren, and then they let Beasley and Schroeder get away with some stuff on the screens. Physically, I'm sure that takes a toll, but mentally, do you have to prepare yourself for the type of game you guys go through, you and Mikal as guys at the point of attack, and the number of screens that team throws at you guys?
Yeah, definitely. Just being aware of where the screen's coming from, trying your best to get through it or get under it or get around it. Just reading the situation and then just trying to get back to the ball and play defense.
They make that run in the fourth, and they have that 5-point lead late. It's so loud in the gym. What does it say about you and your teammates that you guys just weathered it and execute?
Just we're a resilient team. We know basketball's a game of runs. We didn't expect them to just give up. We knew they were going to try, and they went on a little run, and then we went on a run of our own. So it's just how basketball is.
Runs indeed. Knicks won the first quarter by 13. I should say by 14. They lost the second quarter by 16. There wasn't a third quarter doom tonight as they outscored the Pistons by 13, and then they lost the fourth quarter by 8.
11-0 for the Knicks, 22-7 second quarter for the Pistons, 15-6 for the Knicks in the third quarter, 22-2 or 20-2, but that 11-1 is the one that mattered most, the last run that won the game.
Third quarter, we talked about, had been a problem, but it was not tonight. Kate Cunningham tonight for the Pistons in the fourth quarter, only 4 points. Here he is now after the game.
In the immediate aftermath, what emotions are you feeling and what will stick with you from this series?
The immediate one is disappointment. We felt good about this series, so, to not pull it out hurts. But that feeling will stick with us throughout the summer. My dog. That feeling will stick with us throughout the summer and our workouts and conversations and everything. We'll be back and better.
Okay, team was up 7, obviously late. What was tough with the Knicks down the stretch that made it difficult to close this one out?
They made a couple tough shots, along with gave them some second chances. That was, not just not coming up with the ball, and then we missed some shots. So all of those things allowed them to get back in it. And then, obviously, a big shot there.
And then coming into this series, there was a lot of talk about, this team not having playoff experience, being young. But, it goes 6. Every single game was incredibly close. Did this feel like a young team to you just through the series compared to before? And I guess how much did you feel like this team grew up and mature as the series went on?
You saying did I feel like we were a young team?
Yeah. Did you feel like this was an inexperienced team just based on the way you guys were able to make every single game close and compete against a 3 seed?
We were playing the same brand of basketball, so I think that it wasn't like we were doing anything new. We had experience playing like that. It was just little things that got away from us, ball not bouncing our way, and then us just not executing certain details that we wanted to execute. So. I thought it was a great experience for us as a young team. I didn't feel like we were too inexperienced to win that series, though.
give him the stage here. I don't know, had the sense of how good he is. He's elite. The heck with being one of the top young players, Wally, he might be one of the top players in this league.
He's got to work on his three, though. He was 0 for 8 from the three-point line. He was really, really good, not making a lot of threes. If he starts to develop...
And they were open threes, a lot of them.
If he starts to develop that three-point shot as a big-time weapon, I'm just not talking just trying to keep the defenses honest. As a big-time weapon, watch out, because he does everything else out there on the floor. That size combo and that handle, he's pretty impressive.
Turnovers were his biggest weakness in this series also, but he limited them in this game, only had 3, so that's another area. But again, a young player who's got nothing but a lot of road ahead of him to be a star, and they can build around him there.
Never in a rush.
Yeah.
Never forced to speed up. Cat tonight had 10 points, fouled out, and here is his post-game reaction after the Knicks win.
So, Cat, congrats. First series win as a member of the Knicks. How does it feel?
I mean, it's great, just to win with these guys. We work so hard. I think this series, I want to give a huge shout out to Detroit. They showed why they should be in this position. They're going to be really good for a lot of years, so we better prepare for Detroit to be in the playoffs for a lot of years upcoming. And I think this game just shows a little bit of how our season has gone. We've kind of made it difficult on ourselves, and we've always taken the toughest path to getting the job done. And I think this series is just another way of showing how our season has gone, and it's prepared us for these moments where, people question our grittiness, they question our belief in ourselves and how disciplined we could be. And I hope that this series answers a lot of questions about who this team is and the identity that New York basketball has always had, that we could keep it alive.
You've played in obviously big playoff series, bigger than this. I don't want to oversell it. It's the first round. But for you, was there a uniqueness about this series in terms of the physicality they allowed? Every game, all 6 were close. No. The score was close, almost within a couple baskets pretty much the whole time. Was there a uniqueness to you about this series?
I mean, there's an adjustment that had to be made. So going into Game 5, I think the adjustment, we had to learn how to adjust. The series has shown a lot of 90s basketball, but you also understand that it could flip at any moment. So I thought we did a good job of coming out tonight, adjusting, making the changes we had to. But again, always finding the toughest ways to win. We haven't had a lead all series. We found ourselves finally getting that lead early on in the game. True fashion, we gave it up, then we got it back, then we gave it up again. So, but at the end of the day, it's about finding a way to win. It doesn't matter about stats, it doesn't matter about personal accolades, it's about finding a way to win, and we did that. So, I know the city. The city only cares about one thing, that's W's, and we found a way to get that done today.
Indeed, we're going to hear from Jalen Brunson on his game winner, Mikal Bridges as well. Knicks eliminate the Pistons tonight. We continue on our hour-long postgame show after this.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Welcome back. Magic Johnson weighing in on Jalen Brunson's 40-point night and his game-winning shot. One of the most unbelievable crossover dribbles I've ever seen. And how about the king, Henrik Lundqvist? Jalen Brunson, that's the tweet. Indeed. Here's Brunson now, along with Mikal Bridges after the game.
Can you take us through the game-winning shot and how sweet was the kiss to the crowd?
Just found a way to create some separation. Shot it a little earlier than I wanted to, but I mean, Asar is just a great defender, man, and just the fact that I got that much space. I had to shoot it right there. Happy to ball one in.
Jalen, four games this series were decided by 3 points or fewer. I think that's the second time in NBA history that happened. What does that say about your late game execution and sort of your will down the stretch?
Yeah, it's all about us staying poised and having that composure. Obviously, we want to have it throughout the game, but it's most important at the end. We all have each other's backs, and we all know what we want to do. And I'm just thankful for my teammates and coaches for real.
Jalen, excuse me, Jalen, when you take a shot like that, or maybe after it goes in, do you feel the weight of it in terms of the alternative of how things could play out if it doesn't go in, and what that means for this team and what's next in terms of the Game 7 and possibly beyond that?
You're asking me if I felt the...
Like if you feel, when you let it go, like in that moment, do you feel the weight of not just this game, but this series, your guys' season, and how that could possibly change if that shot doesn't go in?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it doesn't, we go... Hopefully going to overtime. We had a lot of time left in the game. But the ball did go in, so that's all I care about.
Jalen, obviously you've been in clutch situations time and time again. Just what do you do when I talk to people about clutch situations? They say that their heart rate goes up, that it's difficult to stay composed and poised in those moments. What do you do to I guess, do you feel that when the pressure is on, do you feel like your heart rate is up? Do you ignore it? What do you do to remain calm in those moments?
Yeah, I stay poised, and I rely on the trust and composure that my teammates give me. I wouldn't be in that position without this man next to me, the way he played tonight. And yeah, obviously everyone's going to say a lot about the last shot, but throughout the game, the ups and downs of it, we all stay composed, and the way he played, it was tremendous. So gotta give a lot of credit to my teammates. I mean, none of this happens without them.
Yeah. Kel Bridges was indeed great tonight. Back now from the Corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. All right, guys, Knicks Celtics game 1 Monday, and remember we have post-game coverage and pre-game coverage throughout the entire series. What do you think of round number 2?
Well, first of all, we learned a lot about how close this team is and that locker room is, because going into that building and getting it done in Game 6, I didn't expect it. I thought it was going back to MSG for Game 7, but that team came together like we haven't seen all season long. And a team that's that close, going up against the Celtics, is going to be a tall task, obviously, but I wouldn't count Jalen Brunson and those guys out. Those guys are going to compete in this series.
Go up to that place, you're looking for a split. A team that has 3 road wins already in the playoffs, going into another hostile environment, but you look at it as, can you steal one? The Celtics sit around for a week. That's what you got to look at. Try to steal one and get it back to the real Garden.
We're talking house money for the Knicks here after winning this first round.
Knicks expect to win. You go into every series expecting to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
You expect to win this series if you
got to do it.
All right, game 1 is Monday in Boston. Knicks advance to take on the Celtics. We have pre- and post-game coverage for every game the Knicks play against the Celtics in round number 2. You can watch here on MSG or stream on the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free, or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.